Once, in a quiet town in the Philippines, there lived a simple, mixed-breed dog who spent her days running around the neighborhood and watching over her family. She wasn't special in the eyes of the world, just a common street dog with a scruffy coat and bright eyes. But to her family, she was everything. She followed them everywhere, particularly the two young girls in the household, whom she adored. They loved to play outside, and she was always close by, ready to protect them from anything that might come their way. One day, as the sun hung high in the sky, the two girls were walking home from school. They were laughing and playing, skipping along the road as they always did. The street was busy with people and vehicles passing by, but the girls were lost in their own little world. What they didn't see, however, was the danger speeding toward them, a motorcycle, going far too fast for the narrow, crowded street. The motorcycle came out of nowhere, its engine roaring as it rushed directly toward the girls. They had no time to react. In those precious few seconds, the dog, sensing the imminent danger, leaped into action. She sprinted toward the girls with all her might and threw herself into the path of the oncoming motorcycle. In that moment, her only thought was to protect her family. With her body, she knocked the motorcycle off course. The girls were saved. The motorcycle swerved just enough to miss them, but the brave dog wasn't so lucky. In the process of saving the girls, her face got caught under the front wheel. The force of the impact ripped off her snout, leaving her with a horrific injury. Her upper jaw was gone, leaving an open wound that would change her life forever. The sight was heartbreaking. Bloodied and severely injured, the dog somehow survived the accident. Her family rushed to her side, devastated by what had happened but relieved that she was still alive. They knew they couldn't afford the expensive surgeries she would need to fully recover, so they did what they could, treating her wounds with basic care, hoping for the best. Despite the terrible injury, the dog didn't stop living. She continued to follow her family, to watch over the children she had saved. But it was clear that life was hard for her now. Eating and drinking were a struggle, and her exposed wound left her vulnerable to infection. Still, her spirit remained strong, and her loyalty to her family never wavered. News of the dog's heroic act began to spread. First, it was just the local town talking about the brave dog, who had saved two young girls from a terrible accident. Then the story started to spread across the region, and soon, the entire country knew about the dog with the missing snout. People were amazed by her selflessness, and her story touched hearts far beyond the Philippines. Eventually, her tale reached international news. Animal lovers from around the world were moved by the dog's sacrifice, and many wanted to help her. A global fundraising campaign was started, and people from different countries donated money to give this brave dog a chance at a better life. The funds raised were enough to send her to a veterinary hospital in the United States, where a team of specialists awaited her. In the fall of 2012, the dog was flown to the United States. It was a long journey for her, and she was accompanied by a local veterinarian who had helped with her initial care. When she arrived at the University of California, Davis, a team of skilled veterinarians and surgeons took on the complex task of treating her injuries. The surgery they planned was not going to restore her snout. Her injuries were too severe for full reconstruction, but they could close her wounds, stop the infections, and make her comfortable enough to live without pain. The surgeries were long and difficult, but the brave dog pulled through. After months of recovery, she was finally ready to go home. Though she would never look the same, the important thing was that she could live a healthy, happy life again. She had overcome the odds and shown the world that even with great suffering, a strong spirit can endure. When the dog returned to the Philippines, she was greeted as a hero. The family she had saved was there to welcome her back, along with neighbors and even people who had heard her story from afar. She had become a symbol of loyalty and courage, and her return was celebrated with love and admiration. Though her face was now scarred, she had won the hearts of everyone who heard her story. For the rest of her days, the dog lived peacefully with her family. She continued to watch over the children, the same ones she had saved that fateful day. She became a beloved figure in her town, and people often stopped by to visit her, inspired by the bravery she had shown. Her story was shared in schools and homes, a reminder of the incredible bond between humans and animals. In time, the dog passed away, but her legacy lived on. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to share it with your friends and follow for more.